Welcome to Lynx Talk. Today we are here to discuss with you Season 1, Episode 9, Cold Comfort.
So, as usual, we'll go right, well, there's nobody to introduce this week, right?
No.
So, we're going right into the summary. Right in there. So, we start out with a party. Starts out pretty exciting.
We see some of our main kid characters. We've got TV, Marie, Donna, and Joey, as well as a couple other kids in the background that we don't really...
Yeah, extras. And then Nathan shows with a bottle, trying to sell half a Mickey to TV for $30. Or, well, he does sell.
Well, yeah, at first, just trying to get Donna to play with him a little for some booze, but...
He's offering a trade for some action.
But Donna says TV will share with her.
Yeah,
and he does.
Yeah, and she probably realizes that TV won't make her put out.
No, they're like friends, and we've seen in a couple episodes ago, Donna can kick his butt. We saw him go flying there a few episodes ago.
So then we go to fast forward to Ruth, Donna's mom. She shows up at Michelle's because Donna is gone.
And Michelle had told her to go to her. So then Eric and Michelle start talking, and they go looking for Donna. So.
And they find the party. They bust it up.
TV gets a little mouthy, and Donna gets a little feisty.
Yeah, she's flirting with Eric.
Yeah, he's searching everybody, and then he gets to her, and she's all like, "Search me real good." And then not only that, but she also has great like physical acting there too.
Yeah.
Raven Hart, who played
Eric's
Donna.
obviously a little
she gets
uncomfortable.
yeah, and that's when Michelle like steers her out of there, but she's like touches his hands all kind of creepily.
So then Eric threatens TV as usual, and then TV
Me and
gives
always
him the
me, right?
Yeah. So then Michelle and Donna talk and then argue somewhat.
We get Donna gets mouthy.
Yeah. She's mouthy a lot in this episode. There's some good lines.
She's got some great lines in this episode. And TV watches Eric go into Sarah's apartment.
And then Hannah, she's curious and worried about Donna. Talking to Michelle, I think.
She had heard that Donna was missing, so she wanted to know if she was okay and everything. Marie and Donna stop by Hannah's window for a blanket.
Yeah.
Donna's she's not staying at home, she's gonna go stay at the shack by the river.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go home. So,
Hannah says she's gonna freeze, but reluctantly she gives her the blanket.
And then Eric falls asleep for about an hour of the movie while it's going on at Sarah's.
So pretty much, that's what she says. He's like, how long was his sleep? She's like, only about an hour. So pretty much she was asleep the entire movie, and she was being nice.
Typical guy move.
Yeah, like
that happens to me a lot.
He comes in 5 seconds later, and she's out, and she's watching the movie alone.
So then we have the Lynx River sex song kicks in. We got some is it some flute action in there?
I don't know, but Eric's like, what are we going to blame it on tonight? And TV, not TV. That would be interesting.
Yeah. For a surprise twist.
Sarah's, she doesn't need something like she doesn't need an excuse.
Because last time he was married.
Yeah, he's not married anymore, is it? So yeah, and they're being recorded.
You don't see TV. With
you don't see who
can.
at first, but then you see very shortly it's TV, and Sarah is worried someone is outside the house and sends
feels like somebody's watching.
Eric out. And so then Hannah brings Donna some food at the shack, and then she's cold. where then Nathan arrives offering Donna something warm at his house.
Yeah, and then
And Donna is cold and desperate at this point, so
yeah, and she obviously
goes,
wants some booze too,
yes.
right? So
okay, yeah,
she's lured by that.
Mm-hmm.
So then Hannah talks to Michelle again, worried about Donna. A little more concerned.
Yeah.
She's got a little more information this
Yeah,
time.
well, Michelle said she shouldn't be worried about her, and then Hannah kicks in and really throws it back in her face. Well, someone should.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
So then Ellen and Michelle talk about Donna, and we hear some of the concerns about, you know, the fetal alcohol syndrome.
yeah,
And stuff.
yes, and yeah, Donna feels like there's something wrong with her.
Mm-hmm. And she had told Ellen at one point she thought she was retarded, which, you know, obviously she's not, but she's got the impression somehow that from her mother drinking when she was pregnant it affected her somehow.
Well, she has learning issues, and like this is way back when she could have had many different disorders, but
And obviously retarded isn't the right way to say it either.
no, but yeah. So anyways, then Nathan wants
Yeah, wants a little sex.
Donna just wants to drink, and but she just needs a second to just get the thinking in her head to stop, and then Nathan can do whatever he wants to her. And oh my God, I like bawled at that part. Oh, I'm gonna say this again. You guys probably have heard me say it already 1,000 times, but she does an amazing job. Like this is such a huge role she's played. Both times she's had big storylines. I'm honestly so impressed for like a young actress.
Yeah, considering
very
she
early
was
on
only
in the show,
very few episodes,
right? Very
she did a
early
good
on in the
job.
show too, and such a powerful. I'm sorry. She's just.
It's okay.
That's good.
So then Eric and Sarah talk about the peeper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pretty much Sarah's annoyed that Eric's not going to do anything.
Yeah, well, she wants him to get the bottom of it, and there's not much Eric can do at this point. He doesn't know who it is.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, he should have really, whatever.
So then Albert comes into his place, finds Nathan taking advantage of Donna while he's laying in the bed with her, and then
they're just laying in bed drinking, which is, like, Albert's also very private. Doing something like that so openly in general is just, like, drinking, especially with somebody else there, would piss him off alone, probably.
And then we get a shot of Nathan in his tidy blues.
Yeah.
Because Albert yanks him out of bed and slaps him around.
Well, yeah.
And then he takes Donna back, you know, he says something about, oh, you're a real man, aren't you? Because, you know, he's not cool with the fact that Nathan's drawing attention to their outfit probably by, you know, having an underage girl over there and taking advantage of her. So then he takes Donna back to town.
Yeah, and Eric, Michelle, and Donna and Ruth talk, and Donna gets a little mouthy, which leads to...
She says she was out screwing half the town to her mom, which is pretty, you know, it's pretty funny the way it comes out of her mouth, but obviously your mom doesn't want to hear that, and she slaps her in the face.
Well, that's not why she smacks her.
No.
No, she's told, that was a completely different incident.
Oh, okay.
She was telling, this was when Eric, Michelle, Donna, and Ruth were talking, the four of them, remember? They were in the detachment talking. And she's telling, she told Eric and Michelle to fuck off.
Oh, okay.
When they were trying to help, so Ruth just goes right in the back of her head.
So then, Eric gets a call, and then that's when he learns of the impending release of Lynx River Naked Gun 69 and a half, which is obviously something to do with him, or at least he's worried that it is, and Sarah is.
So yeah, then Donna's leaving. She hugs her sister, so we get so we know for sure she has at least one sibling, though we know there's a few other younger ones as well. And she tries to get on a plane, to no luck.
Yeah, Willie says to go home because there's no more planes that day.
Yeah, and she won't. She just sits on the
On her suitcase.
Yeah, in the middle of the airstrip thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Runway.
Yeah, I know the word. I'm like, okay.
The bustling Lynx River Airport.
I'm like picturing it in my head and everything. I'm like, I know what this looks like. Why can't I find a word for it? So yeah, then she's sitting on her suitcase there, and he tells her that she can't sit there, but then he just goes.
So Michelle and Donna talk. Michelle offers Donna a place to stay at her house.
And then Michelle and Eric talk.
Yeah, and Michelle kind of
makes everything all about her.
Yeah, she vents, saying, you know, that basically everybody's kicking around this problem until she has to do something about it. So.
Yeah, she's making this is a very like big thing for Donna, like very emotional, crazy issues and problems, and Michelle is making it about her.
Yeah, we get
right then and there.
I kind of get the impression maybe she's trying to avoid it because of her past issues or something.
Yeah, we find that out a little later on in the episode, and that that is exactly it. So she's just trying to avoid her because she's too much exactly like she was as a kid, as a teenager. So yeah,
so he talks to Joey. Splitting satellite. So they're splitting the satellite at the time to pipe in the feed.
Yeah, he's talking to him about how he's gonna do it, and how that there's no way Eric is gonna be able to figure it out. He'd have to. It's going through 20 different things.
Yeah, you have to disconnect everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
To figure out which one or whatever it was, and then Joey wants to see the tape because he sees it, but TV won't show previews. Tucks it in his shirt. Then we got Michelle laying out the house rules and a Naked Gun 69.5 preview comes on TV.
Well, it's really just a commercial. But either way, it stirs up a lot of crap around town.
Is it really a commercial? It's more like just an advertiser because it's just one picture, right?
Yeah, well, it's a commercial. So then Sarah and Eric talk about it, and Sarah is extremely annoyed at this point because, obviously she's really worried about when this thing comes out.
And Eric pretty much has no plan or isn't doing anything, and she's getting super irritated.
Eric's coming across as pretty dumb in this whole investigation, and Sarah's just pretty pissed off.
And Hannah and Donna talk about school, and here we kind of see Donna. This is where you see that Donna possibly has learning issues or something. She just can't sit down and do her homework, and she just doesn't understand it. You could tell she was just so completely lost and everything.
Yeah, either that or just maybe too much is going on in her life right now. But she seems to be not the most studious kid in the first place, right?
I think her issues with school might have to do with the fact that she doesn't understand it. But anyways, I guess we'll see. Hannah's doing her homework, and then Donna goes to lay down.
So then Eric and Michelle talk about this whole satellite issue, and she mentions that TV fixed it last time, and Eric kind of gets a light bulb going off in his head.
Finally.
I don't know who else he thought it was, but he obviously figures out, TV's the one.
I mean, there's only two people that I would have guessed that would have done that team. TV or Harris.
Yeah, or Albert.
I guess. But Harris seemed like, TV and Harris seem to actually have it out for him. Like, Albert doesn't seem to, have it out for him.
But I think it was kind of obvious that a kid was doing it by the commercial. I don't know. Whatever. So then anyways, sorry.
So yeah,
sorry.
Then Eric and Michelle talk the sex tape.
Yeah. So yeah, Eric basically lays it on the line what happened.
Yeah,
and Michelle's just kind of like, too much information. I don't really care about this.
Yeah, so now like he's confiding in Michelle. Like Michelle actually knows like him and Sarah have a sex tape and everything out there. So
then Hannah catches Donna drinking, and then
and then Eric and TV talk about the tape and guilt, and TV's like, well, you want to search the place? Go ahead, get a search warrant.
Yeah, TV's not here in the guilt trip. Eric basically tries to lay it on the line, not about him, but about Sarah, because he realizes, Sarah's done a lot for TV, and that, he can
not
maybe
just
guilt
TV,
him
but
more.
Elsie
as well.
and Marie.
Yeah. So then Hannah talks drinking with Donna, and then Hannah tries some.
No, she tries to.
Yeah, she tries to take a sip.
She doesn't actually,
Yeah.
and Donna's fighting her.
Yeah, and then Michelle catches him right at that moment, so it kind of looks like Hannah's drinking.
Yeah, because Donna's trying to stop her, but she's like freaking like drunk out of her mind too. She's like almost, she can't really hold up herself. So Hannah's strong. She's almost got the bottle at that point. I mean, if Michelle wouldn't have walked in, I think Hannah would have gotten the bottle no problem, because like I said, she was pretty much like, she couldn't hold on much longer. You could see Hannah almost had the bottle to her lips.
Okay.
Do you agree or not?
Yeah, I guess. So then Michelle catches her in the middle of this and kicks Donna out. So that's the gist of that scene. So then Sarah and Eric talk. They're about TV.
Sarah's super annoyed.
Yeah, she's flabbergasted. And the reason why mainly now is she's saying, just cut the satellite, and Eric's refusing to do it.
Yeah, she's just mainly completely annoyed with him and everything.
So then Hannah Eric
finds Donna unconscious in the snow.
Yeah, and then
with her wrist cut. Sarah has mentioned when she gets to the health center, because he takes her there, that she had only had a pocket knife, so they weren't too deep.
Yeah, she didn't actually cut a vein. It doesn't seem like. She just kind of did some superficial wounds to her wrists. So then Albert and Michelle talk about Donna.
And Michelle says something like, why aren't you there? Why aren't you there? And he's like, well, why aren't you?
Yeah.
I love that. It's I mean, I wouldn't take Albert's side most of the time, but I think Michelle needed that push, and she needed to be pushed into place.
And Albert's good at, pointing out things that are not always so obvious, but he, picks up on things very quickly. He's very sharp, obviously. And
then Eric and Michelle talk about Donna, and it gets Michelle really upset, and Eric says, why are you so scared of her? Something to that extent, and Michelle walks off and just breaks down. So we get another beautiful breakdown scene from the lovely Tina Keeper.
So they talk about alcoholism, past ghosts.
Yeah, Michelle and Donna. Well, Michelle goes to Donna and talks about her drinking past and everything. And how she used to drink to silence the noise. Yeah. And she'd get so drunk, she'd wake up and she'd barely remember where she was, and she'd do it again. Yeah, and she mentions that she drank too while Hannah was, while she was pregnant with Hannah. Almost as much as your mom, or Ruth. Yeah. Ruth, which was... So we see there that Hannah just kind of was lucky to not have suffered the same kind of effects. It's kind of just, luck of the draw, I guess, when that happens. Yeah, and also she had slightly more stable family life. Donna also was the eldest of many siblings having to take care of, and them, she was their parent while her mother was working. Yeah, but I don't think it's pretty obvious that Hannah doesn't have any fetal alcohol syndrome side effects. I don't Yeah.
To me, anyway.
Yeah. And then Eric is looking over the plans for the satellite and looks at the clock.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously a little worried about a certain time when a certain thing is going to drop on TV.
Yeah, he keeps looking back, I believe, between the plans and the clock.
So then Sarah goes to TVs, looking for the tape, trying to guilt him, asking him why he would do it to her, making it a personal thing, which it really is.
I was gonna
really,
say it worked.
Yeah.
Because you could tell.
You could see that look on TV's face, where you don't see it very often in these early episodes, but Elsie gets to him one time like that, and there we see Sarah getting to him that time. Hits him with the guilt.
Yeah, it's the same. Also, he had that guilty look when he went to go look at Marie when she was sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. See, you can tell DV's a good guy underneath. He just needs a push.
And then Hannah visits Donna with sandwiches, and they have a beautiful talk. And we get to find out Donna is going to get treatment at Hay River. So she's taking everything seriously, and she says it's all because of Michelle, what she said to her.
So then Eric goes completely commando and decides to just do what Sarah suggested and cut the satellite. And then who of all people catches him doing it? TV Tanya.
Who gives him the tape and says it's for Sarah.
So there was really no reason for him to cut it in the first place, although, he was cutting it pretty close.
Yeah, I was like, he cuts it and then he gets the tape, so he just took out the whole town satellite for nothing. So then Hannah and Michelle talk, and it's this really nice scene where you get Michelle admitting that she was wrong. Yeah. And she's like telling Hannah, I learned a lot from you, because Hannah was being the more adult in this situation when it came to Donna.
Yeah, you can tell Michelle is
very proud.
Realizing at this point that her past demons got in the way of her parenting.
And and then the town-wide satellite outage.
Yeah, of course. We know why.
And we end with
Sarah and Eric hit the showers.
Insinuate.
Yeah, they don't actually hit the showers, but
we don't see their shower.
But they
scene.
mention it. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess
they mentioned them going to the shower.
The shower scene was cut out due to time and budget
constraints. And okay, that is it for our summary. I guess we'll start off with our discussion questions. We actually posted 2 on Facebook this week. So the first was, do you think Donna's alcohol problems stem from having problems fitting in? Now, we have this really great answer. With both answers, we got a reply from this great person who the answer was nice, long, and I liked it. Sorry, I'm rambling now. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to guess, and then I'm going to spell it.
Yeah, we don't know if this is just a Facebook
I think it's
spelling.
Is it Christian? Is it Xtian? I don't know, but it's Xtian.
Yeah. So, he said, Donna's alcohol problem probably doesn't stem from fitting in, but comes from a broken, dysfunctional family. Her problems do exist with fitting in, but it's much easier to deal with having seen the adults in her family who have used alcohol and escape also, as an escape also. So yeah, it's a good point. I mean, she's grown up with that, using that as an example of how to escape her demons.
I think that that's pretty much it. I don't think they stem from having problems fitting in, but I don't think that I think it makes the alcohol problem a bigger issue.
Yeah, well, you can definitely see that there, though. She has nobody to hang around with, right? Like, there's nobody who's really like her in town that's experiencing the same things, I guess you could say, to go through it with.
Yeah, well, Marie's her best friend.
But Marie's not clearly at that same point.
Marie and her, you could tell from a few episodes ago with the pilot episode that they're obviously at two different wavelengths, not just.
Well, Marie's a lot younger too.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing I was gonna add in. Marie is, I'm pretty sure, about 3 years younger, roughly. Yeah, I think Marie's about is supposed to be 13, and Donna and TV are 16.
Anyways, we better hit this next question.
So yeah, what do you think would have happened if TV's video was actually released? Again, we've got the answer from same person.
So I think the release of the video would have sent Eric to a different location. This would inflict enough embarrassment and shame on Sarah to also leave the community, but she would return eventually with an NCO against TV. TV would live in an even more notorious lifestyle as a criminal that garners respect from the bad apples, but would lose a tremendous amount of respect from the good people of Lynx River. He would be charged for voyeurism. This video would circulate the internet. And that's a good point. Things go viral now when you drop them.
Two great answers. I was really impressed. Just by the amount of detail, usually we don't get big answers either, so it's great to have more of a discussion with people. What do you think, honey?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, all chaos would have dropped, broken loose. Like, Sarah especially would have freaked. I think it might have ended their relationship, like her and Eric right then, because of how private she is. She might not have wanted to be seen with him at all anymore.
I think Sarah would have left.
Yeah, that might have happened.
I don't think she would have.
She kind of was almost implying it in this episode.
I don't think she would have stuck around. And as for Eric, I don't see how a release of that would garner him being shipped off. I don't see him even caring, because he didn't seem to really, if you could tell, watching the episode, he didn't seem to really care about it being shown. He wasn't ready to go cut the salad dish, or he was only willing to do that for Sarah. Mm-hmm. So I think he would have stuck around, and Sarah would have took off. And I think it would have been a lot funnier for the next few weeks or months, especially anywhere Harris was seen with Eric. I think Harris would definitely throw in a few good jabs or something.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, I can kind of go along with some of that. So that's our discussion. That's our episode. Next week is episode 10. The Active Hairs.
This is a good one. We've got the intro of Sylvie Lebret. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do anything else other than give you guys that. So, like, share, and subscribe. Facebook.com/LynxRiverTalk. You can also check out our shirts. Facebook.com/LynxRiverTalk/shop.
All right. Well, see you next week, and it was great to be with you again. Thanks a lot.